What's going on, everybody? It's your boy South Carolina fan here, and welcome to my review on the FCS teams. Now, last week, it was last week, I did the FBS review, and now I'm going to be doing the FCS review. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so just gotta make sure this is. Yeah, let me straighten this out. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So, this is the FCS. Now we scroll all the way down. This video is probably going to be shorter than my FBS review. Let's see here. National championship game is in Nashville, Tennessee. I believe the second year in a row it's going to be there. It's in January 2027. Let's see, notable headlines, I think. What's this? While still there, you reports that the new eligibility on the proposal, NCAA athletes will have 4 years of eligibility starting on their 19th birthday, or high school graduation, whichever is sooner. No red shirting would be allowed, even for medical reasons. Exiting eligibility for military service, religious missions, and for women, mandatory leave will not be a fit. Okay. I think I heard about that. Well, Ohio Valley Conference, and I need some water. The Ohio Valley okay, I'm losing my voice now. Analysis football teams would return to competing under the name branding following 3 years of competing on OBC and Big South Football Association. Okay, that's new. Okay, I'm not even gonna bother to read. So here are the changes. We got Chicago State. They started a football team. How do I think they'll do? I highly doubt they will do any good, because have you seen their basketball team? Both men's and women's, they pretty bad. Over the last few seasons, they've won I don't know, like an average of 5 games a season. That's pretty bad. I don't think their school would be known for sports. But they start a football program, and don't really expect them to do that great. You know? I know what some people are thinking. Every school should have a football program. Yay and no. I mean, yeah, football is fun and all, but it's expensive to have a football program. Because, football equipment is expensive. You gotta have a large stadium and all, and it's just, and you gotta have the players. And it's just a lot of work, and there's a good reason why not every team has a football program. It's just too expensive. When it comes to college sports, a shitload of schools mainly have a basketball program because it's cheaper and it don't require a whole lot of players. So yeah. So yeah, Chicago State. This year is their first season in football because they got a new program. Okay, so, and as mentioned in my last video, North Dakota State has finally moved to the FBS, and like I said, it's about time because we've been begging for that to happen for over 10 years now, and it's finally happening. Sacramento State, and like I've mentioned in my last video, they should have waited until they've won a national championship in the FCS, but since they didn't do that, the chances of them winning a national championship are now less than 1% because once a team moves from the FCS to the FBS, their chances of winning the national championship now are extraordinarily low. That's all I can say about that part. We got Scared Heart. I'm not sure where they're located, but no longer an independent and will be playing in the NCAA football conference. We got St. Francis, that's downgrading from Division 1 to Division 3, even though not a few years ago their basketball team did something great. I don't remember what they did in the NCAA tournament, but I think they were like a very low seed and they defeated a very high seed. I don't know. I forgot the whole story. And then a few days later, they announced that they're downgrading from Division 1 to Division 3, which is kind of a shame. Okay, and we got Southern Utah that's transferring from the, what's this? United Athletic Conference. And if you don't know, that's still a fairly new conference, but they're transferring from the UAC to the Big Sky Conference. Tennessee Tech transferring from the OVC/Big South Football Association. Oh wait, what? Oh wait, hold up. What does that mean? Okay, no. They folded. Okay. But it's basically two conferences merged into one. But they're transferring to the SoCon Conference. Utah Tech, which used to be known as Dixie State, but because of what was happening back in 2020, the word Dixie is considered an offensive word, which I don't really see how. So they changed the name from Dixie State to Utah Tech. Anyway, they're transferring from the UAC to the Big Sky Conference. Villanova, which is known for their basketball program, they're transferring from the CAA Conference to the Patriot League. Same thing with William and Mary. The CAA to the Patriot League. And we got West Florida transferring from Division 2 to the FCS. Yeah, I think their program is now 10 years old. First season was in 2016, and they won the national title in 2019. So that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, this Villanova. Now a lot of people don't know this, but they have a national championship in football. They won it in 2009. Anyway, let's review. Yeah, I'm starting to lose my voice now. Obviously, I was just outside mowing the grass. Anyway, we're going to be reviewing every team in the FCS. How many? 128 teams. So let's get started, shall we? Okay. Cal Poly, don't really care. Eastern Washington. I sort of like them. I mean, they were good back in the day, as they won the national championship in 2010, and they're known for their field to be the field, as you know, is colored red. And if you want to, let's see if we could get a picture of it. But yeah, see, this is a picture of their stadium right here. Unlike Boise State's, which they're known for their blue field. Eastern Washington known for their red field. But they were good about 10 years ago, but in recent times they're starting to struggle, and it's rumored that their program could fold soon, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen because now, like I mentioned before, I have them favored on the CBS Sports app, but that does not mean that I'm like a huge fan of them. It's just, yeah, I like them and all. They're all right. So yeah, Idaho. Now, 10 years ago they were in the FBS, but I'm guessing because their stadium is super duper small, it caused them to downgrade from the FBS to the FCS, which I thought was pretty dumb, and I still think it's dumb to this very day. Of course, when I thought they were going to be like, winning national championships year after year after year, but it turns out that didn't happen. It turns out that, they're still really good, but they haven't even got to national championship level. So, but yeah, I like them and all. I do have them favored. I pretty much have a shitload of Mountain West teams, or Mountain Time, in the Mountain Time Zone teams. Favored. Idaho State, yeah. I think I have Montana State. Montana Grizzlies, yeah, they're all right. They have 2 national championships, one in 1995 and one in 2001. They haven't won it ever since, but they're still pretty good. Montana State, now as you know, are the defending national champions in the FCS. They have 2. Let's see. I think it's 1984 and 2025. Oh, okay. They actually have 4. Okay. Wait, hold up. That's... Okay, so 1956 in the NAIA. 1976 in Division II. 1984... Now, this is back when the FCS was known as Division I AA. And last year, they won it in overtime over Illinois State, which that was a pretty good game. I enjoyed it. So yeah. Oh wait. They have a share of the national championship. This game ended in a tie. So anyway, Northern Arizona. Now, as you know, they're known for their cross-country team. I did see a video on YouTube where a Northern Arizona player was like giving a tour of their athletic departments. It was like showed their national championship trophies in men's cross country, and the YouTuber was like, where's the one in football? And he said, next year. Of course, they still have yet to win a national championship in football, but who knows? Maybe they'll finally win one. But I do not have them favored because I don't really care that much about Northern Arizona. Northern Colorado, now as you know, like I said, I like Colorado teams, so I definitely have them favored. Portland State. Now, hang on a sec. I also like Oregon teams. But this, I like Portland State and all, but their football team needs fucking help. It needs a shitload of help. So let's. Oh, nope. Did not mean to click on that. Let's go back. Okay. Now, I do remember the 2015 team where they made a huge miracle turnaround. And now it's like, wow, they're doing really good. But then they end up losing in the second round. And then hope has come for this program. But then the next year they started sucking again, and they've been sucking ever since. Portland State, they pretty much suck in football, and the program needs fucking help. Okay, I need some water. Okay, anyway. Southern Utah, don't really care. UC Davis, don't really care. I don't really care that much about California schools. Utah Tech, don't really care. Weber State, don't care, alright. The CAA, Coastal Athletic Association. Albany, don't care. Bryant, don't care. Campbell, don't care. Elon, don't care. Hampton, they're alright. I do have them favored. Maine, alright. I do like more their ice hockey team. How do you pronounce that? Monmouth. Don't really care about that. I don't know where they're located. New Hampshire. Yeah, they were really good back in the day, I think in 2014, but they haven't really haven't been that great ever since. North Carolina A&T, don't really care. Rhode Island, alright, I guess. Scared Her, don't care. Stony Brook, don't really care. Towson, I think my team's playing them this year. Now, little history about Towson is that they made the national championship back in 2013, and where they lost to North Dakota State. I don't think they've been that great ever since. Okay, now here we are in the Ivy League. Brown, don't care. Columbia, don't care. This Columbia, New York. Not Columbia, South Carolina, where I'm from. This is Columbia, New York. Where this is obviously Columbia University is located in New York City, not Columbia, South Carolina. We have a Columbia College, which they play in the NAIA, and they don't have a football program. They originally were a women's college, but in recent times they started adding men, so it's now both genders. Both genders are now accepted. They play in the NAIA, but they don't have a football program. So anyway, this is Columbia University in New York. Don't really care that much about them. Cornell, don't care. Dartmouth, don't care. Harvard. Now in the Ivy League, this would be my favorite. Yeah, I do have them favored. Pennsylvania, don't really care. Princeton, as you know, they played against Rutgers in the first ever college football game, where Rutgers would win the game. Back in 1869, where Rutgers would win the game 6-4. Obviously, the rules were different back in the day. Yale, no. Like Harvard. I like Harvard more. Oh yeah, this is the second year in a row where the Ivy League can participate in the FCS playoffs. As you know, Harvard got destroyed. Yale, even though I don't like them, they were down they were down by over 30 points, but then they came back and won the game. Okay, let's do this. Let's go back and see here. Yeah, they got destroyed over Villanova, 52-7. So they were down pretty badly against Youngstown State. I think 42-14, and then they came back and won it. So yeah. But of course they got destroyed in the second round. So let's go all the way back down. So yeah. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, also known as the MEAC. Delaware State, don't really care. Howard, alright. Morgan State, don't care. Norfolk State, alright. North Carolina Central, don't really care. South Carolina State, as you know, like every South Carolina school except Clemson. But yeah. And obviously okay, I'm starting to cramp right now. Hang on a sec. I just got done mowing grass. So anyway, and as you know, they're an HBCU school, and they're obviously my favorite HBCU school. As you know, they won the Black National Championship last year. And I'm one of those people where I'm like, yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. Now win another one. Yeah. Because as you know, there's only one bowl game in the FCS, known as the Celebration Bowl, which is between the MEAC Conference Champion and the SWAC Conference Champion. As you know, I'm always going to be pulling for them, saying win the conference and win the Celebration Bowl, which the Celebration Bowl is considered the Black National Championship game. And I'm always going to be pulling for them to keep on winning it. Anyway, the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Let's see here. Illinois State. Don't really care that much about them, but I do have hope in them that they finally win the national championship in football. In fact, the last time Illinois State won the national championship in any sport was the baseball team, I think in 1969. Let's see. If we go, okay, hang on, I'm going to be looking for it. So give me a minute. National championships, yeah, that's the only time that their athletic program has won a national championship, and they have not. The school has not won a single national championship ever since, but hopefully that drought will end soon. Okay, Indiana State. They're not that good in football, but I have hope in them. But their stadium is pretty shitty. Let's see if look at this shit. How can you have this giant section right here and have no stands right here? Yeah. No wonder they're on the list of one of the weirdest stadiums in college football. You got one side full of seats and the other full of nothing. I think maybe I think they used to have seats right there, but they got rid of them. Maybe they ought to bring it back because it just looks so fucking weird. I mean, look at that shit. Anyway, yeah, they pretty bad in football, but I do have hope in them. And like I said in my last video, like every school in the state of Indiana. Let's see, Murray State. Now, their baseball team made the College World Series. Not this year, but last year in 2025, which was pretty fucking cool. But their football team, very bad. But I do have hope in them. Oh yeah, they're a Kentucky school, and as said in my last video, like every Kentucky school. North Dakota, they're all right. Obviously, one of my friends from the last job I worked at, he was originally from North Dakota, from Grand Forks, which is home to North Dakota. And yeah, he likes them, but he pretty much likes their ice hockey team, which is what their school is known for. And yeah, they're known as the Fightin' Hawks. They used to be called the Fightin' Sooks, but they had to change the name because, you know, it's considered too offensive. Now, according to my friend, he remembers when that happened. According to him, he said that the Sioux Nation were actually okay with the name, the Fightin' Sooks, but yet they still changed the name because it's one of them times where it's considered too offensive. So yeah. And as you know, the school has one national championship. They won it in 2001 when they were in Division II, but they have yet to win a national championship in the FCS. Let's see. 4-0 in Bolt? Okay, let me take a look at that. Oh, okay, so when they were in Division II, okay, that's something I didn't know. But yeah, they're all right. Northern Iowa, don't really care. South Dakota, don't care. South Dakota State, I mean, they're all right, I guess, because as you know, they won 2 national championships this decade. Let's see, I think 2022, 2023. If any team, now as you know, over the decades, the FCS has had a team of the decade. In the 80s, I think Georgia Southern was the team of the decade. In the 90s, the team of the decade was Youngstown State. In the 2000s, the decade that is, Appalachian State was the team of the decade. In the 2010s, North Dakota State was the team of the decade. Currently in the 2020s, there's a two-way tie as North Dakota State and South Dakota State both have 2 national titles this decade. Now, if South Dakota State can win another national championship, they will retake the lead as the team of the current decade, the 2020s, here in the FCS. So yeah, Southern Illinois, don't really care. Youngstown State, and like I said, the team of the 90s, don't care too much about them. Okay, we got the Northeast Conference. Now this one's going to be pretty short. Don't care. Get it out of the way. Don't care. I really don't care. I really don't care that much about these teams. Or this conference, that is. So, let's move on. The Ohio Valley Conference. Charleston Southern. Of course I have them favored because they're a South Carolina school. But You know what's kind of strange? They're known as Charleston Southern, yet they play in North Charleston, the city of North Charleston. North Charleston. I can't speak. Yeah, but they play in North Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah, North Charleston, South Carolina. But they're known as Charleston Southern. Isn't that kind of strange? So, yeah. Yeah, do have hope for them. Eastern Illinois don't care. Gardner-Webb don't care. Lindenwood don't care. Southeast Missouri State don't care. Tennessee State don't care. UT Martin don't care. Western Illinois don't care. Anyway, the Patriot League. Bucknell, don't really know where they're located, and I don't care that much about them. Colgate, have a little hope in their ice hockey programs, that is. I know they have a women's team. I think they have a men's team also. But I don't think they'll do good. They have hope in football. Now, as you know, they made the national championship in 2003, where they were destroyed by Delaware, I think 40-0 in that game. But the school has yet to win a national championship. Fordham, don't care that much about them. Georgetown, I mean, they're all right. Holy Cross, they're all right. Lafayette, don't care. Lehigh, don't care. Richmond, oh yeah, I also like Virginia schools as well. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Same as their rival, William and Mary. Obviously, this is where my parents grew up, Richmond. My mom lives here in South Carolina now. My dad lives near Richmond. So, yeah. Villanova, I pretty much like their basketball program more, but their football program's alright. And like I said with William and Mary, I like them and all. Okay. We got the PFL, Pioneer Football League. Butler. Now I think we all remember them as the basketball team made the national championship game in 2010 and 2011, where they would lose them both. But I pretty much like their basketball program more. The football program, they were all right when their basketball program back in those days was kicking ass, but not anymore. But hey, hopefully one day they'll turn that around. But yeah, an Indiana team, so obviously have them favored. I think that's where my grandmother went to school. I don't really know anymore. Davidson, don't care. Dayton, don't care. Drake, don't care. Marist, I mean, I like them and all. They're all right. Morehead State, as you know, they're a Kentucky school. Yeah, I like them, but their football team sucks and needs some serious fucking help. But yeah, hey, anything can happen, and hopefully one day they will turn that shit around and win a conference title for the first time since. No, they haven't won one since the 60s, that's for sure. But hopefully they turn that shit around and start winning. Presbyterian, now South Carolina school, and I do want to make a huge fucking rant about this shit. Because last year Presbyterian finished the season of a 10-2 record, and yet they get denied a spot in the FCS playoffs. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? They had a great fucking season. 10-2. Yet, and they had other teams. They had other teams that got selected that lost more games than them. and were they were not as good as them, and yet they still get denied a spot in the playoffs. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? Why you gotta deny them? Do you not know how fucking hard they worked to get that far? Because ever since Presbyterian moved from Division 2 to Division 1 20 years ago, do you not know how hard they had to rebuild to get to this spot? And then of course on Instagram they're like, well, better luck next year. You know, I don't think there will be a next year, because this upcoming season, what if they do worse than they did last year? It's fucking stupid how they were denied a spot in the playoffs. I'm like, what the fuck? You know? Last year, they should have been selected in the FCS playoffs, but they didn't. And you know, I have no fucking clue if they'll be as good as they were last year. They might be worse, because ever since they became a Division 1 member, they've had a pretty bad history over the years. So you better hope that they do good as they did last year. You know. Anyway, San Diego, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the team that was selected just because they won the conference title, and they didn't. Yet there were other teams that didn't win. They didn't win that didn't win a conference title, yet they still were selected. It's fucking stupid. I know. And I'm like, fuck you, NCAA. It's pretty fucking stupid how you would not select them. What is it? Is it because they didn't win it? Get fucked. Anyway, let's move on. So yeah, don't give a shit about them. Don't give a shit. How do you pronounce that name? Valparaiso? As you know, they're known as the Beacons. Now they used to be called the Crusaders, but you know, back in 2020 they had to change the name because a lot of hate groups are known as Crusaders. So as a result, they had to have that name changed from Crusaders to Beacons. But yeah, I like them and all, because they're in Indiana. Anyway, let's move on. The Southern Conference, aka the SoCon. Chattanooga, don't care. East Tennessee State, don't care. Furman, out of every team in the FCS, this is my number one favorite team in the FCS. That's the Furman Paladins. Now let me get a sip of water. Yeah, can't speak good. I'm thinking it's because I was just outside mowing grass. But you know, I wanted to get that done before I leave for Oregon next week. I'll leave for Oregon on Saturday. But I don't know if I'll be making a video while I'm over there. But I'll definitely be taking some pictures and posting it on my community tab. So yeah, hopefully everything goes. Okay, I'm getting off track. I will discuss that later. Let's. But yeah, this is my favorite FCS team, the Furman Paladins. They've been, you know, somewhat good and all over the years, but they haven't they haven't reached the semifinals in God knows how long. As they have one national championship, and that was back in 1988, and they finished as the runner-up. They finished as the runner-up twice, in 1985 and in 2001. So they haven't been to the national championship game since 2001, but they've had their ups and downs, you know. But yeah, I'm just hope, and they've won conference titles. Not too long ago, did they win it last year? I can't. Okay, let's go back up. See who won it last year. See how good were they last year? Oh. Okay, well, they finished with a 6-6 record. When was the last time they won it? Okay, wow, really? 2023? Okay, when's the last time they... Really? Okay, I didn't realize it's been quite some time since they've been in the FCS playoffs. But yeah, like I said, okay, so that's the last time they've made the semifinals. They lost to a team that would win the national championship that year. So it's been quite some time. They've had their ups and downs over the years, but hopefully they improve this year. So yeah, Mercer. Now they're all right. I have been on their campus once for something. But yeah, it's a beautiful campus and all. But they're all right. If you're wondering where they're located in Macon, Georgia. But yeah, they're all right, I guess. Samford, not Stanford, Samford. Hope you're hearing that clearly. Samford. Don't care that much about them. Tennessee Tech, don't care. The Citadel. Now, as you know, they play in Charleston, South Carolina. One of my neighbors from my childhood are huge Citadel Bulldogs fan. As their father, rest in peace, went to Citadel. I think he played football when he was at the Citadel. I know that he played football, but I don't know if he played football at the Citadel. But yeah. But I definitely like them and all, and yes, I do remember that 2015 game when my team played the Citadel and we lost by 1 point. I was at that game. I think I still have the tickets. Okay, it's in a box somewhere, but I'm not even gonna bother digging through all that. But yeah, I was at that game and I was pretty disappointed that they lost that game by 1 point, and I'm sure I'm still as disappointed now like I was back then. But yeah, during those years, 2015, they won a share of the SoCon Conference with Chattanooga, and they defeated us, which gave them a really good resume to be in the FCS playoff, which they would do for the first time since 1992, and it was a huge accomplishment. Of course, they would get eliminated I think, in the first round of the playoff next year. But in 2016, they did even better. I think they finished with a 10-2 record. Oh yeah, Of course, they would get a spot in the playoff. Winning the conference outright and clinching a spot in the playoff, but still get eliminated in the first round. And it was like, wow, holy shit. This program has really good high hopes. But then in 2017, they started sucking again, and they've been sucking ever since. But hey, maybe they'll get good again one day. Who knows? So yeah, VMI, which stands for Virginia Military Institute. Yeah, they're all right and all. They pretty much suck in football. Now, obviously, in 2020/21, obviously, that shortened season was played in the spring of 2021 because of what that was going on. And obviously, this team would finish with the best record and would win the SoCon Conference during that shortened season and would clinch a spot in the playoff where they would get eliminated. But ever since then, they haven't really been that great ever since. So yeah. Western Carolina. I think one of my favorite YouTubers, of course he's not really a YouTuber now because he's not that active on there, but he's active on Instagram. But he's like the same as me, fan of every Carolina pro sports team. North Carolina is his team, but he also likes Western Carolina. But I don't really care that much about Western Carolina. Wofford, South Carolina school. They play in Spartanburg. So yeah, I like him. Now, one of my sister's friends he was a football player for Wofford back in the day. I think nearly 20 years ago. That was 2010, I believe. Okay, Southland Conference, East Texas A&M, don't care that much. Houston Christian, don't care. How do you pronounce that? Incoordinate word, don't care. Lamar, don't care. McNeese, don't care. Nicholas, don't care. Northwestern State, don't care. Southeast Louisiana, I can't fucking speak. Southeastern Louisiana, don't care. Stephen F. Austin, don't care. UT Rio Grande Valley, don't care. So I don't really care about anybody in this conference. Now this is the SWAC Conference, which stands for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Okay. Alabama A&M, don't care. Alabama State, don't care. Bethune-Cookman, don't care. Florida A&M, don't care. Jackson State. Now, as you know, I think, what was his name? Travis Hunter originally, I think that was him, originally played for that team, and before he transferred to Colorado and won the Heisman Trophy. He originally played for this team and was kicking ass, where this team would make it to the Celebration Bowl that year, but they would lose to South Carolina State, and as you know, my favorite HBCU team. So yeah. Mississippi Valley State, oh my god. I don't even know why this school still has athletic programs, because they're one of the worst in the country. Like, I think my team was playing them in women's basketball back in 2013, the 2013-2014 season, our undefeated national championship season. We played against this team, and we defeated them by nearly 100 points. It was like 110 something to 19, and it's like, wow. Why why even bother? Why even bother having an athletics program if you're not if you're just gonna suck? Oh, and looky here, a star. Not to mention they're ineligible because of failed academic requirements. And like I said, why even bother having athletic programs in any sport? That is. Okay, so in the West Division, Alcorn State don't care. Yeah, I'm starting to lose my voice. Arkansas Pine Bluff don't care. Grambling State, yeah, they pretty good and all, but don't really care about them. How do you pronounce that? Prairie View A&M, don't care. Southern don't care. Texas Southern don't care. And that's the only conference that has a conference championship game. And this will be played December 5th. I think it's played on whichever team has the best record. Whichever team has the best record will be the host of the conference championship game. Okay, now we're almost done here. Abilene Christian, don't care. Austin Peay, think they're in Tennessee, don't care. Central Arkansas, don't care. Eastern Kentucky, yes. Yeah, I think one of my uncles went to school there. Eastern Kentucky University. North Alabama, they're all right. I mean, I liked them when they were in Division II, but I don't think they're that great. Oh, wait. How have they been since... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, they've been pretty bad since they joined the FCS. Okay, then. Now, that's something I didn't really know. Tarleton State. Now, this is the team that I think will win the national championship. Oh, my gosh. You know what? One of my favorite YouTubers made a rant about this shit. I'm not even going to bother discussing it. Anyway. But yeah, I was cheering for them last year because they like... When did they join? When did they join the... hang on. I think this is when they became eligible. But they joined sometime this decade. I think this was their first eligible year, but holy shit. I was like watching them and I was like, yeah, I think this team will win the national championship. But they got eliminated, and I think I have high hopes for this team. I do think they'll win the national championship this year because they were kicking ass last year, and I think they got it all this year. And I'll definitely be cheering them on. I have them favored on the CBS Sports app. West Florida. Oh wait. Hold up. I'm guessing they got rid of that rule where you had to wait a certain amount of time because you transferred from Division 2 to Division 1. You have to wait like 4 years in order to become eligible for postseason. I think they got rid of... I know they got rid of that for bowl games in the FBS. It looks like they got rid of it. For FCS, for all divisions. And that's a good thing because, like I said in my last video, that rule was completely pointless, and I don't know why teams would have to wait a certain amount of time to become eligible. It's like, look at them. They got an undefeated record, and yet you still deny them a spot. You still deny them a spot in the postseason just because of that stupid, fucking pointless rule. You know? And it's about fucking time they got rid of it. I don't know why they would create that rule in the first place. You know? Anyway, so West Florida, this is their first year. Let's see, West Georgia. Let's see here. I think they joined last year. Okay, hang on. When did they? Okay, they joined the year before. Because I was like, wait, when did they join? Okay. But yeah, okay. So, oh yeah, what did I think about them? Well, don't really care that much. Now that they're here in the FCS, same with West Georgia. Chicago State, I've already discussed them. Don't care that much, and I would expect them to have a winless season because all their athletic teams suck. Merrimack, I think they're located in Massachusetts. Don't really care that much about them. Okay, so the regular season begins Saturday, August 29th in week 0 with East Texas A&M taking on Mercer. The MEAC SWAC Challenge. Alabama A&M against Howard. So yeah, that's everything. And no, I am not going to do a review on just FBS and FCS. So yeah, that's my review on every team. So yeah, I'm so looking forward for this season to happen. Holy shit, I just touched the fan. God damn. Oh my god. I could have lost a finger right there. Oh my god. No, I'm not bleeding, don't worry. Didn't even break the skin, so I'm alright. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward for the season to happen. Anyway, now I'll be in Oregon next week. Who knows if I'll be making a video there. But hopefully it's a safe trip because, as you know, there's wildfires burning through the state. Hopefully that doesn't interfere with my fun. So anyway, looking forward for this season, and hopefully I'll be able to do a live reaction to this team, that is. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, show your friends, hit subscribe and all that shit. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch and on Twitter/X. The link to those will be in the About section on my channel. Hope you all have a good day or good night or wherever the fuck you are in the world. And yeah, see you all next time. Later.